Let's go. Okay, let's go. Plus, onegaishimasu. Okay. So we'll just start a little bit loosening, very light with the feet. Let's raise the body up, let it sink down. Take a few deep breaths to do it. And just coming up through the feet, just kind of hold it a little bit. It's kind of coming out. Hold it at the top. And slowly kind of lower it to the ground. So just kind of do this nice and slow. You kind of come up to the toes. Legs are quite straight. Stretch the body up. And then it's just you kind of descend down really nice and slow. Control it into the ground. Just one more. Stretching right up. Hold it. And then coming down to the ground. Okay, so keeping the feet as they are. Just have the sense of raising up through the body and just sinking down. And raising up, sinking down. Also involve the hands in it a little bit. Just get this idea of kind of raising up, dropping down. Raising up, dropping down. Have to make the movement a little bit bigger. Bring the arms fully into it. Just kind of breathe in as you come up. And out. Let it drop. Okay, just coming into the front and back, but just specifically for the feet. Going into the toes and now into the heels. Just pressing into the heels. You can think about raising the heels at the front and then raising the toes to the back. Or you can think about sinking into the toes in the front, sinking into the heels in the back. And just watch the balance in this one. So play a little bit with it. If I go too far over the base, I need to take a step. Just explore it. So just go fully all the way. And just feel it. If you need to take a step, you can. Fully to the front. And just play with kind of holding the body a little bit. And if you feel you go right over, especially to the heels, quite difficult. Fully go to the back. Right to that. Good. And then just go into kind of front and back. Keep the lower body quite tight. So the knees, just kind of work the knees if you're kind of pushing the knees front and back. As if you're kind of pushing the knees on a track. Through the feet. And just go side to side. And just working the feet. And in this case, just working the edges of the feet. You've got the outside edge and the inside. Slightly swaying the body to increase the weight. And yeah, just explore, in this case, a little bit more like you're going over to one side of the leg. So now rather than the balance being trapped, or the balance going forward over both, you've got this feeling that you're transferring the weight just into one leg. Just into one leg. And not really doing it in a balanced way. just getting the idea of shifting the weight over. And then just increase it a little bit. Have the sense of you come and then all the weights in one leg. All the weights in one leg. Just explore this idea. And then just, if that way it was like keeping the legs quite tight, locked. Just go now a little bit looser, so they've got knees the whole joint system in the lower body going to kind of free up. So there's a kind of cushioning down and there's a bending up. You come up. Just kind of play with this a little bit. It's a little bit freer. Just explore a little bit the body kind of sinking down through it as well. Coming up. A little bit more balance. If you go over, just explore again. There's this nice transition. You've got both feet down 50%, and then you shift the weight. And then you release it, and then just watch that. Shift the weight, and then coming back. Shift the weight. You might find if you take it too far, you're going to get out of it, but just play with that. 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 And a few times just take it a little bit too far, just so you can feel like that. What I want to get is like the feeling, yeah, like that. Just like using the hands. Using the hand. See if you can get the sense where there's a point where you will go where it's like the whole body will go into freeze mode. It will go like this. So the system will like jam. And get the feeling where you can take it just to nearly towards that point, but try and feel that what you're going to do is like engage the whole core. So that kind of tension, the body, I don't want it to go like go into that. That's when I kind of panic because the system locks, jams. But just get the sense that what you're going to do is like sink the feeling down and engage the core. And then you can actually start to kind of be a bit more balanced with it. So just look now, you can go like that, and there's a point that will happen. And then I have to kind of do this shuffle step. So this is like the system's locked. You'll see this in like a good Tai Chi person when they've basically locked the system of the other person. The person will do these kind of movements because the system's locked. The only way they can move is by kind of skipping. So what you want to do is like get the sense that I never get to the point where the whole system jams. So I'm going to go over that. So just kind of feel comfortable with it, and it's a little bit like how you would make a kick, but just get the sense of this something's going to come over. And then over. So just explore it. The kind of transfer of weight, but on a grounded leg, through a grounded leg. And just feel the moment I go over the leg, this then it becomes impossible. So just looking at the structure of the leg, specifically dropping the weight through it, and then kind of raising it up through it. Just explore it again, kind of sinking down. Nothing kind of formal. But just notice what happens as you do it. That's it. Yeah, and you can think about like sumo squats, these kind of sumo squats. They do it this way. Or you can think about kind of kicking. So you can get kind of two different ways. That's it. That's it. That's it. Yeah, good. Yeah. And if you can, I would do this if I was a bit more flexible. Get the sense that you can really come down into the squat as well. So if you want to be a bit more challenging, let the really center mass go down and transfer it over. I can do it just maybe on this side, that. So kind of do it a bit lower. So it's like I'm kind of keeping low through it, coming in through it. Just kind of play with it. Yeah, that's it. Just challenge the system a little bit if you do it. That's it. You can challenge it two ways. You can do it by extension out, like dispersing the system, or you can do it by challenging the body by really like taking the body down. So going quite low with it. So just do, yeah, that's it. And it's just playing with it at the moment. It's not about anything specific. There we go. That's it. Great. Good. There we go. Nice. Great. Okay, now with that kind of compression, if we're going to the rotation, just feel now you're going to do something else, which is like a really balanced compression. So both feet are involved in it. And what you're doing is now you're using the footwork in this way. So if this is the front side of the body, you go into a little bit into the front foot, the front of the foot, and the inside, and then the opposite side, the back side. You probably feel that you go into the back of the heel. So there's a kind of thing happening with the feet where this side is like you do that. So it's like you're on the inside front and you're on the back side inside. Oh, that doesn't make any sense. Kind of. I tried to show it. It makes more sense. So as you rotate, just feel that. And this is basically where you're working with a spiral. So now you've got like this simple compression pattern where you just kind of place it into one leg. And then what you're doing is doing the same thing, but you're doing it in both feet. So you're kind of compressing down through a spiral. And it's where the body should start to go really kind of grounded, really grounded, very solid. There. And just play a little bit with the hands, with the arms. Just let them kind of follow the movement. Just let them kind of follow it. All right. And be really kind of deliberate with it. So the first step is like really make it kind of exaggerated. And because we do this movement all the time with the Aikido, especially with the Taijutsu work, you might find yourself coming into different kind of positions, like these kind of Marote Dori positions, Ikkyo, all these kind of kokyu work. Just kind of play with it a little bit. Ah, okay. Okay. Yeah. That's it. Nice. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Yeah, and there's usually, in this case, just go back to this form, or the form we normally do, where the arms are kind of going, dangling loose. So one of the problems with kokyu work, again, is this a little bit like yesterday, Monday, this idea of like going into a position with the arms, so kind of going into like a defensive position, and then kind of everything moves from this area. Just get a sense now that the arms are really attached to the back of the body. Just do a few, like loosen the arms off, and then really get a sense that you're going to attach that feeling of the arm being connected to the back into this movement. And the real key in this is that the arms do nothing. So the arms are really dead with no feeling. Just let them go. This is really an easy exercise to do athletically. So like do this. Like, which basically means I'm pushing the arms through the space. Now just imagine you're not doing anything with the arms. They're just being pulled by the rest of the body, which is really a different kind of feeling. So, and these really simple exercises, they give a very clear kind of window onto these principles. One of the key principles we work with a lot is center to periphery. So that the movement starts in the center and it spreads to the periphery. So this is like a key principle for us. And this kind of exercise, which is very simple, gives a very clear view onto this principle. So it gives you a really different way of using the body in a very, very simple way. That's it. That's it. Great. There we go. I'd probably say this a lot, I repeat myself, but these are great exercises to do for like 10, 15 minutes. Like really you need a way to get the body to like realize this is a much more efficient way to do it. So if you think about like you were going to do this movement for an hour, how would you do it? So I will always work on that kind of viewpoint. So I think about the same with the suburi when we come to the suburi work. If I imagine I'm going to do it for an hour, or I'm going to do it for half an hour, something like this, how would I do the movement, or how would that change the way I do the movement? Now I'm going to be looking much more at efficiency, and much more at relaxation, and much more about like effortlessness, because I don't want to be expending too much energy as I do the move. So just get the sense, or you can get the sense of this, or you can actually try it. So doing this for 10 minutes will really get you into a space where you can do it. So one day we'll do it in the class. We'll just do this for 10 minutes. You'll be bored as hell, but be very interested there. There we go. There we go. That's it. Yeah. That's it. Nice. And then just doing the same thing using the rotation. Just one side. Just get the sense that you can pass a figure of 8 through the joint. So now you're starting to kind of activate the joint, but you're not going to do it again through kind of doing it through tension. Just get the sense that it's quite loose, but I want to get a sense that the kind of heaviness of the joint now. So you're going from this looseness to something a bit more switched on. So it's got a bit more quality of this. Now, this is a great exercise to do in, I know all the pools are closed, mostly in Europe, but this is a great exercise to do in water. So you can probably, if you've got a big bath, you can maybe do it, but get a sense that when you're doing it as if you're doing it through resistance, or you're doing it through a thick substance. So even though the air doesn't give us any resistance, or not so much resistance, get a sense that you're kind of doing it through resistance. And again, it's about, just imagine, it's like a thick treacle or it's like a heavy water, but something that, and then just imagine how that would change the way I do it, because I can do it in a way that's lots of force, or I can do it in a way which is very loose. But I need to find something in between. And for me, that's like a grounded heaviness in the center. I'm trying to translate that heaviness into the arm. I also want to have the sense that the arm's cutting through the space. So the way I shape the arm will be kind of crucial to it. So I can do the movement like that, where I'll get a lot of resistance. Or I can do the movement in a kind of cutting way. There we go. And then just play with both sides a little bit. You've got something much more flexible. The structure's much more solid. That's it. That's it. Good. And then just start to play with both. So both sides coming in and keeping this kind of grounded heaviness. And really working now with translating the spiral and the hip work into the hands. Into the hands. That's it. There we go. That's it. Good, 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 good. So I want you to try two things. That this is a good way to like explore movement in general, and we do it also in the system as well. Is basically make it big and then make it small. So you're going to kind of work with making the movement big, 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 and then also condensing it down, making it smaller. So I have the sense that I imagine like holding a ball or something like this. That it's like something expands out of the form, but the essential quality of the form stays the same. So the same movement, I just start to feel that I can expand it out, expand it out. Now just watch one thing, that as I expand it, or as that I start with big, what I don't want to do is go into these kind of movements. So I don't want to start swaying the body again. I want to get a sense again that like the body connected to the ground, boom, all the time, that feeling sinking down, sinking down, sinking down, sinking down, and not kind of going into this kind of movement, which is the upper body doing the movement rather than the hips. So really get a sense that the arms, the upper body's just going to follow that hip work. And that basically means the center's like hugging the ground. And that movement's going to come from. There we go. That's it. So look, something like really stable in the core. There we go. Good. That's it. Nice, nice, nice. Nice. Great. Very nice. Good. Good. And then doing something a bit more active with it. So this kind of movement this way. We just go straight into this one. So we've done that one before. Just go straight into this idea of throwing the arm out and being a bit more active with the arm now. So you can do anything with the arm. It's not about bringing it back to the shoulder. It's about passing that hip work like a kind of whip into the arm. So it's like a kind of, what I'm looking for is something that's heavy and like whipping out. So you can think about slapping. You can think about kind of striking out. You can think about kind of punching out, or you can think about just coming back onto your own body. So just explore these, but get the sense that something's going to be sent out from the center. The key with this is, I'll explain it like this with a movement. It's like, I want to feel it now gather to the center and then out, and then drawing back, out, drawing back, out, drawing back. So it's something where the center doesn't shift. The center stays where it is and it draws out, expands, and then draws it back. So there's something kind of solid, grounded, and something that's not going to change, which is like the center of the body. And the great thing about the center is wherever you go with it, you take it with you. So the center always comes with you. So you don't need to worry about losing the center because the center's just there, just where it is. The problem is we disconnect from the center. So trying to keep the center where it is, trust that it's there, and then pass it whilst remaining in the center. This is what you kind of think about when we talk about being centered. But it's basically not losing, not giving the center away. Okay, good. That's it. So that's it. That's it. Nice. So it's a bit, our system's kind of famous for starting with static. So static techniques. Now, there's a really, really dark side of static techniques. It breeds stiffness. It breeds rigidity. But there's a really great light side, which makes it really worthwhile practice in that it trains very clear movements and it trains it in a simplified way that I can expand on later. And if I don't have that base, working from movement and trying to be grounded and centered, it's really, really difficult. So if you think about trying to learn a movement, it would be a bit like if you want to go drive a car, the first lesson you go on the motorway and you go full speed and try and learn all the maneuvers. Now that's impossible. You know that's instinctively not the way you would do it. You would start slow, you start in a car park, but you wouldn't go to the theory either. So in this case, what I want you to feel is like, I'm not going to go anywhere with the feet. So just notice like this, I can do this movement with a lot of movement, but practicing centering, grounding, all those principles will be a lot harder. So just imagine in this case like that, I want the body to not go anywhere. And then just really feel it every time go. So this kind of static training, as we would do it in static form, really allows me to practice those principles in a very clear way. So they give the basics, in this case, give me a very clear frame of reference for the principle. So it just makes it easier. It makes the training easier. Gives me a very, very clear window. That's it. There we go. Go. Nice. Okay, good. Very nice. Okay, good. We'll just do a set. So we're trying to henko. You're just going to go like this, expand out. Now you're going to bring the body in, compress it in, and then from here find the rotation to the back. Now from here, I just want you to play with pressing it forward this way, and then dropping it down back into a neutral position. Extension, sink the body in, sink in, find the rotation. And then from here, just translate the movement forward into a cock cue, and then come back into a neutral. Okay, so you kind of start this side. The first step's like do nothing. Just let the body relax, center down, drawing down, and then expand. Extension out, and sink in, roll to the back, nice and strong, and then let it pass forward into a cock cue. And then just coming back. So that's it. Good. Okay, good. Nice. And this for us is like a really primary movement. So what I want to focus on is just the footwork. So it goes a bit back to this kind of work of like compressing into one foot or into one side. So as you engage the movement, you're going from a 50-50 position, engaged, but 50-50. So I'm right in the center of the feet. Now what I need to do is translate that weight forward into one side of the body. So that first movement is a shift in. Okay, so it's a shift in the weight. So try and avoid this. I want to make that movement as simple as possible. If I do this and shift the body in, that doesn't make it easy. And it's actually breaking the form. So the actual form in this case is to keep this part of the body where it is. So I just do in this case like this, well, this way. But it's not like this for Taina Henko. That's for Kokyunage. This is for kind of Kokyunage work, coming over this way. But for Taina Henko, make it really simple. The back side of the body doesn't move in that first step. So it goes like this, extension, out, this way. And then from here, I transfer the weight totally, find the back, and find exposition. So just really see it as training compression patterns. And or again, the basics need to be simple. They need to be as simple as possible. And I want to get rid of like extra movements that aren't necessary. That's it. That's it. Good. Nice. That's it. Nice. Good. For those of you that know the movement a lot, working on the movement, get this sense that you can kind of connect this idea of impacting the body. So a lot of the weapon work we do is about percussion. So it's about impacting through the center. Ga-go, ga-go, ga-go. The ski work, ga-go. So it's got that kind of quality. Now, I need to kind of translate that feeling as well into the empty-handed work. So a lot of the empty-handed work we do is about impacting through the center. Go. So a lot of that work is translating that feeling of the weapon into the handwork. So it happens here in the Taina Henko. It's not excessive. I'm not trying to destabilize the person totally, but I'm trying to impact the body into it. So there's a sense that the center presses through the hand. Go. And I need to have a very clear, this is why this leg's really important, because to do that, I need a really clear sense of the ground. Go. But it's going to pass through the leg. So have the sense that it's heavy, and then go. So it's like impacting through the center. Bam, bam, bam. So those of you that have done this a lot, just get the sense that this is the kind of, this is where the movement's going to go. This is where it goes beyond the kind of shape of the form and goes into the intention of what am I trying to do. And if you think about the uke, the other person, what you're trying to get is into the center and affect the center and then work around it. So you're really trying to get a sense of percussion into the bodies. But it's quite subtle, it's not obvious. That's it. Good. That's it. Great. That's it. Good. Yeah. That's it. Okay. And this is what feeling really matters, but also form really matters. So that the technical parts of it really matter. They make a big difference. So whether I move this foot or not makes a big difference. The other thing that makes a big difference is my alignment to the center. So just watch this. There's a lot of the time I'm kind of coming in this kind of positions or something like this, where I've actually missed the center. So I've actually slipped off the center, either by pushing it out or slipping past it with the body. Now imagine the center line of the body like a pipeline goes through. I want to align everything to that. So the feeling's like this, that the center's like here. Don't. So the mind, the intention, everything is in that point, but it's not in that point, and it's not in that point. This is something else, but just get a sense, and this time go very clear. It's like this alignment through the structure. Now, this is what we don't talk about so much in Aikido, but I want to steal the center line. So I want to use my center to steal the center line in the engagement, and that comes from sword work. I need to steal the center line to come into the attack. So in this case, it's the same thing. I want to take my center line and steal it. Now, it's not kind of explicit in Taina Henko, but that first movement is impacting the center, there. And for me, if I'm like a millimeter off, I feel it. Out. Go. So you need to be a bit fanatic about it, like the center line of the body. It's like doing shonuchi work. I need to be totally clear in the shonuchi. Go. I want everything to just line up. 90%. There we go. That's it, that's it, that's it. Good, Serena, good. Yeah. And this is where the training works for both beginners and like seasoned people, because the training is always the same. And that basic pattern will never go away. So that's kind of great for us, especially as seniors.
It's difficult.
I mean, yeah, seniors in training years, not in actual years. Not senior citizens.
Nearly there.
Nearly. I gotta watch my language. Oh, okay, good. Right. Yeah, and this training is actually it's a lot the same. Like you want to always, and especially this is for the teachers. You need to make people aware that they're not only training the body physical, you're training the mental aspect too, and you're training the energetic aspect. That needs to be from day one. So that's something we don't tend to do with students. But this way you can actually connect with people, because most people know how, like I said yesterday, most people know how to connect with stuff inherently. We do it all the time. So if I can connect with them on a level they understand, that you're actually training something that you do all the time, but I'm trying to adapt it to a form. And in this case, like the feeling really matters, or the mental aspect really matters. I need the feeling that I'm kind of impacting the go. Then what I do with the mind is really important. Go. So again, knowing what I'm doing as I'm doing it really, really matters. And that needs to be from day one for me, for the people to kind of get a grasp of it. So you're training the physical, but you're training the mental as well. And the energetic, which is a bit harder. There we go. Yeah, and then again, it comes back to small detail. I'm going to stick with this because it's actually a really basic pattern. Just watch small detail. So if I'm training the mind, or if let's say I'm training a principle which is like open expansion, being open and expanded. Now, as when I do this movement, I do this. I'm not training open expansiveness. So that detail of what I do with the head will inhibit me being able to train that principle fully. So just get a sense of, if I'm training like open expansiveness, get a sense of the whole space as you come in there, all the space. Now this is just in a sense of a kind of encounter or connection where I need to be switched on, and I can't be self-absorbed. Go. So just get a sense now of the whole space, or get a sense of you in the space, as if you can see yourself from outside. What are you doing in the space? How are you acting in the space? And what effect do you have on the space? So it's much more about the space now. You take the form and go into a kind of much more open feeling. This kind of practice of like switching on and consciously training the attention in a way. That's it. Yeah. Just play a little bit with the second part now. So finding the tiny henko. Most of you have got this movement now, so you've got there. Now the sense of in keeping the engagement, pressing it forward, and then coming back to another position. Move around the space again, but get a sense that you're really kind of, what you want to do is like elongate the connection work now. So this is why long forms, especially like the 31 drill kata, perfect form for training the attention. But even a very, very simple pattern like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And if I'm really focused on training the attention in this way, it takes a lot of energy to kind of do well. But keep the engagement on all the way. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Keep the sense that all the time you're training the engagement of the mind into the body. intention to the form. There we go. Nice. And just move around the space a little bit. And if you're senior, play not only just kind of shifting forward, but shifting back or shifting to the side a bit more. So just experiment with a little bit. Especially difficult to kind of shift to the back. Okay, good. Yeah, just make this connection up. Again, the technique really matters. So this position, this with the hip, this, and then what I want you to do is, as you come out, translate that movement into the hands. Don't slip on the floor, but get the sense that, again, it's connecting the hip work, the center work, to the hand work. So really, and it's not a joke, it's like, I really want them to talk to each other. Go, 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 go. And just make it really explicit. Yeah, go, 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 go. So they really work together. So they're really like talking to each other. Good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And the first level with connection is just getting the two sides to talk to each other. Just talk to each other. So hands to hips. How do I get the hands to talk to the hips? Okay, look at it a different way. Don't think about the hips to the hands. Think about the hands to the feet. So any movement I make with the feet should have a correlation in the handwork. So this is why in Japan they spend a long time, I've said this before, they spend a long time just talking about hand and feet. They don't even talk about the center. They definitely don't talk about the hips. Sometimes they talk about koshi. They talk about this kind of core area, but most of the time they're spending talking about hips and hands and feet. So just have the sense that as you do this, any movement I make in the feet, any movement has a correlation with the handwork. Absolutely any movement. So there's no kind of dead space in it. All this kind of stuff. This is creating separation. So get a sense that any movement I make, handwork, footwork, is the same. That. As I move the feet, that. That. As I come back, that. So any movement is going to have a correlation with the handwork. So just get them again, just talking to each other. And the first step is like just tie them together. Get the hands and the feet to move together. Just get them moving together. That's it, Keith. Yeah. There we go. So, there we go. Great. So in like training the hands and the feet, you hope that the center starts to fall into place and like look after itself. And it's not always the case, but it can be true. Just focus on handwork, footwork. Really, really good. Especially just to get them working together. Good. There we go. Okay, good. Great. So take a bokken. We're going to do some sort. Okay. Okie dokie. So we just go right in this case, into the first suburi. Again, first suburi, really clear example of a very simple basic that is like, you want it to infect the whole system. So the first suburi is like we almost always start with the first suburi. It's like an essential teaching. So just that. And again, just get the handwork, the footwork together. So any movement with the foot or with the feet has a correlation in the hand. Something's gonna go. There. So the first step, especially for the beginners or for the people who are not kind of familiar with the form, just tie them together. So just get the sense that the feet and the hands move and operate together. Together. So great. Nice. Nice. Okay, great. Good. Okay. Great. So for me, there's a lot of essential teachings in the first suburi. One of them is about how to anchor the body through compression. So the first suburi is perfect for training compression patterns because the feet aren't really moving, or you're not moving in the space. You're not stepping, you're not going back, you're on the spot. So the essential teaching in this case is like this. What we tend to focus on is the active leg. Pulling back, pressing forward. Pulling back, pressing forward. Now this creates, again, separation. So just focus for the next few, really focus on the back leg. This is your anchor for the movement. And because I don't move it, I can really focus on it as a kind of making the principle kind of real. So get the sense that you're really anchoring the body through the contact in the ground this way. So put much more emphasis now on the feeling in the back leg. And that whole compression really grounds the cut. And the front foot's just going to kind of follow. It's going to kind of fall back and it's going to kind of press forward. Fall back, press forward. But just keep for now really all the focus, all your kind of feeling in that back anchor leg. And this is classic compression work, done very, very simply. That's it. Okay, good. Okay, great. Good. Okay. Good. Okay, so similar thing, really focusing on the alignment. Again, Shomonushi is a great exercise, not very practical. There's not a lot of times when you attack someone and do this kind of stuff. There's not a lot of times we use this movement. Maybe in the Shomonushi like this, very practical. But there's not a lot of times when you kind of use this kind of vector, very straight, rigid through the body, in this sense, in a practical sense. But what it teaches is a very clear line through the body to kind of fix to. So I want you to really focus on the Shomonuchi, finding the back, cutting through the center of the body. Now that cut through the body is everything. So this line, pipeline down the body is in the feet, it's what's in the center, it's what's between the shoulders, it's what's between the hands, and then everything's going to track that line. Go, 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 go. So everything's just going to track along that line. Go, 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 go. Now, if at any point, or if I with any part of the body lose that line, the feeling will dissipate. So especially the feet, just watch this. Go, go. So I split, everything goes like this. And then no matter what I do with the hands, no matter how perfect the Shomonuchi, it's been spread already. So I've already lost it. So just focus, in this case, the hand is really important. Going back to the footwork, you're going to really bisect the back foot and then track this line this way. Track the line. So if you've got a line on the floor, use it. And really this makes everything much cleaner, much simpler. You're going to cut through the space directly, but not indirectly, kind of splitting out. Just get a sense you're going to come bang, bang. So again, it's a really simplified pattern. That's it. And you want as pure a Shomonuchi work as you can. So the most kind of straight, the most centered cut you can do. That's it. Very nice. That's it, Keith. Nice. Yeah, good, 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 good. Nice. Good, Nick. Great. Okay, great. You're in. Good. Nice. Great. Okay. So we just take it to Zengo. So just cut into the front and then cut into the back. So you start with the first movement. Again, really focusing on making a very straight vector through the movement. And then rotating to the back and doing the same on the left side. So really focusing on like tracking this line through the whole structure. Again, if you've got a line on the ground, just use it. So you've got a really clear reference for the movement. And again, the basics give you a very, very, very clear window on the principles. The more simple it is, the easier it is to kind of see the principles working. Okay. That's it. Good. So, great. Good. I just make a distinction in this case, again, where the technical details really matter. Now, when you do the first suburi, you find the back like this, and you kind of open the body out, and then find this position. Now, when you do this rotation, when you do this cut into Zengo, keep the movement above the head. So what I don't want you to do in this case, it's possible, it's a different way to do it, but you can go this way. Don't go here. Don't go to the back, and then find it. Don't go here. It's almost impossible to do this well in terms of rotating and pulling to the back, because you're basically just splitting the body out. So that teaching really is for something else. So this kind of finding the back. Do it on the first cut, but when you do Zengo, don't do it on the other. So you just want to find this. And then from here, again, tracking the center line, everything goes with it. This way. Everything goes with it. But it doesn't go here. This causes really like a big clear wobble in the technique. So get a feeling that you just roll underneath the sword. And you're going to track the center line of the body with the hands. There. 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 Just watch a little bit opening too much to the back. Okay, good. That's it. That's it. Great. Okay, this just one point. It's a little bit for the seniors, but get a sense that as you do the movement, the hips constantly engaging. So as you do the cut, really feel the hips engaging through it. As you do the rotation, the hips constantly engaging, constantly engaging. And this starts on a very simple level by just allowing the hips to move through the motion. Good. So there's something, again, there's a correlation between what's happening in the center to the hands and the feet. And that means the center's the hips are going to engage through the whole movement. So that kind of feeling, try and translate this into the feet. You're kind of working in the basic, and working in a kind of beginner level. This again goes back to the hands and the feet. So I just want the hands and the feet to work together. So feeling a kind of percussion in the cut, in the handwork, and a percussion in the ground with the footwork. BOKKEN. Good. There we go. And it's actually the same teaching, but it's just going from a different level because the connection's a bit different. There we go. Good. Got it. BOKKEN. Nice. Mhm. Okay, good. Just try it like this. So again, it goes back to this idea of the basic or the Kihon form, like being static. So really allow yourself to find the static position. So find this. Good, good. Now I want to again feel that everything's completed, but it comes to full completion. Still and then go. Still go. Still go. So I want you to now find that the cut's really going to complete itself. That fully engaged and then release it. Then find it again. And release it. And find it again. So really get the sense that you're going to go into this kind of really a Kihon static form. Give yourself the opportunity to really train the principles in this way. This is a really good way to just make a check of the body. Am I really balanced? Am I initiating from the center? Or am I pulling with the hands? Okay. Go. Good. Got it. Good. Sit it. Go come. Okay, great. So we're going into what we did yesterday, which was working with number 6. So going into the curve, grounding through, and then pressing through here. Now, that's a kind of essential teaching from the first Suburi about anchoring from the back. This is really important now that I do this. So get the sense that the back leg anchors it down, and then I just increase the movement down, and then press it forward. So now really find that you're going to shift every time into the other leg. Shift down. Really feel that that's compressing down, and then that movement's going to come from the back. That. Rotate in. That. Press out of the back leg. That. Rotate in. Press. That. So it's really, again, working basic compression patterns. And do it on a very static level, very Kihon. That. So really find you come to a stop, and then press it through. Come to a stop. Yeah. Okay, great. Okay, because the sword work grip is asymmetrical, it's not the same on the right side as it is on the left. The connection works different. So we'll just go a little bit into the detail of this. When you do this one, just watch for if I keep the hands as they are, like this, and I do the movement like that to rotate, everything goes like this. So just notice on this one, the best way to do this is keep this front hand quite loose, and I allow the sword to kind of rotate through that hand. So that hand doesn't really adjust because I don't want to pull the shoulder out of this movement. So I want to keep the shoulder quite like this way. And that means the sword's basically free to rotate through it. If I don't do that, if I keep the grip tight on the sword, this will happen almost automatically because I don't have an anchor in the handwork. Now that's not the case on the other side because as I go into this way, I'm connecting this hand into this wrist. So this arm becomes the weaker side of it. It doesn't actually matter what that arm does because the handwork allows me to connect into this hand. So when I do the left side or when I do number 7, you're in this kind of position. So it's a much stronger gripping position. Now that's not the case for this side. I can't connect this part of the body to this part unless I do that. then that's doing something else. So just get the sense that you do that. There. So the shoulders, everything hangs down through the structure. And just explore what's different between the left side and the right side. And those differences are really crucial for kind of getting the most out of the forms. The left side cut and the left side ski are totally different. Great, good. Nice. That's it. Got it. Good. Nice. Good. And then we'll just finish with number 7. So again, working in Zengo, but each time you're going to do right side cut, left side ski. So you do right side cut, left side ski. Rotate to the back, right side cut, left side ski. Right side cut, left side ski. Again, really using a static form. So finish the cut fully, find the next move. Finish the ski, find the rotation. Really do it on this kind of level. Give yourself some time. There. Okay, just watch one point. Don't leave the compression pattern. So don't go into that. So don't worry about the step. So don't think about the step. Think about the compression, which is now it's not in the back side. It's in the front side. So the compression now shifts to the front foot. Before in the 6, it's in the back side. There. Now in 7, it's in the front leg. So that compression happens here. That way. So just get that kind of feeling that you're actually compressing into the front foot. This. Now the moment I go beyond the base, that's when I come out of balance. And then I go into pushing the sword with strength. So just get the sense that you come here and then compress into the front foot. And then it comes out from there. So you can actually make this totally condensed. Again, it goes back to something before. You can make the movements big or you can condense them. That's a great training method, just to kind of explore. Just again. And realize how to drop into the front foot. That's it. This has actually nothing to do with stepping forward. It's to do again with compression through the foot, passing a spiral through. There we go. Good. There we go. Great. Nice. Nice. Everyone good. Right. Great. Okay, good. Yeah, and in terms of movement compression, that's my favorite to do. So if I'm ever lost for something to do, I go to number 7 in a Zengo because it teaches you all the basics that you need for Aikido. So it's a really great compression pattern in this very simple, short movement. So it's got everything you need. So if I'm ever stuck in a hotel room, I use the number 7. So this is the basic, really core teaching of the sword work. So okay,はい、どうもありがとうございます。
どうもありがとうございました。
Thank you very much, Michael.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Bye.
Thank you.
Today is Wednesday, so this evening, for those that want to do more.
See you this evening.
Later.
Bye all.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Cheerio.
Just see you.
Bye, everyone. Thank you, Michael.
Thanks a lot. See you soon.
Yeah.